Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. The preceding video can be graphic for some people. People have requested to see my wound care. At the very end of the video, I will show you the updated wound pictures. There is no full body nudity. It's just that my clothes have to be off to obviously dress the stuff. So we were very careful to keep it modest and to show you what we do. So today I am finally sharing with you about my wound care treatment. Jim is going to do everything from start to finish, but occasionally I get the pads ready ahead of time. So these are what they call abdominal pads. They're actually high absorbent. They are woven covers, which causes them to be mostly non-stick, but they aren't non-stick pads. They come in 8 by 10 sheets, and they are duct taped together because duct tape is cheaper than all the wound care tape, and some of the wound care tape is very resistant to sticking to it. So since the duct tape is going on the back, it doesn't make a difference. This is what we've learned to do to save some money. Now, medical supplies were really kind of like hard to get around here for a long time. Like, I think I mentioned this in previous videos that sometimes tape is really like sold out at stores. And because I have very sensitive skin, there's certain tapes that I really have to shy away from if at all possible. So we try to save our wound care tape to use the minimal amount that's necessary, and to save money and to save tape. So currently the tape that we're using is tape that we received from the hospice nurse, or the hospice care, excuse me. And it's paper tape. That's what I was going to say. Now, once again, we're filming at 2 times speed. The reason we film at 2 times speed is because this process can take a very long time. If you notice that the first thing we have to do is to take the previous night's wound, coverage off. We use a trauma scissor, or it's also been called a tape scissor. Like, it's basically an angular scissor that they use to at the hospital. It's basically safe. You won't really get stabbed very easily. Now, sometimes the bandages stick, sometimes they do not. Today, very fortunate, they did not. I'm laying face down on my bed as I do normally, and Jim is gonna do my back, and then together we're gonna do my front, and then together we're going to wrap a gauze around it. So what I do is we usually use a rolled gauze that we create like a halter top, which actually holds the bandages, helps hold the bandages in place, and that's really been very successful for us. Now, if you've been following us this whole time, you can see the wound that I said always looks like Africa. That's what it reminds me of. And you can see all of the patches of white in the middle is all new skin growth, and we're so excited about that. The patch on my left shoulder is actually growing new skin. We call them islands. We're basically saying like they're islands in the stream, and then I start comparing them to deserts in Africa. But the one that's on my right side, which you can't see really well right now, but I will show you pictures at the end, it is growing one new patch of skin, but mostly it is just shrinking. You can see like the outside of the border just coming in, and coming in a little bit. So my friend sent me these Sensi-Care wipes. They remove adhesive, and that's what Jimmy was doing. There was a little bit of adhesive stuck in the middle of my back. Now, sometimes we do this sitting up in the rollator, but I cannot film that for you because that will be a total nudie shot. And when we do sit up, if I'm feeling good enough to sit up, I should say, we use the bucket and soap system. But there's days like today where I was up this morning doing stuff that it's just got to be done laying down. And he uses the fragrance-free, no dye, soft baby wipes. Right? I'm asking him to take a current picture, which I'll insert here. As you can tell, not only is the this rash on the left, all of those white spots is all new skin, but there's some scarring in the upper left hand corner. And this one, as you can tell with scarring on the outside, how much it has shrunk, which I really am grateful for. And there's that one patch of new skin right there. So after we wash the back, I asked him to hand me a wipe because I usually wash my armpit myself. I can do my front. I can do my front by myself. Well, he does the medicine because he wears the gloves. But then I put on the zero form and the gauze pad by myself. So we rolled over to have Jimmy put the medication under my arm. So I do have a picture of what that looks like. And I don't know if you can tell, but there is a little tiny raw spot still in the very crease of my underarm, which is part of the rash that we're treating. So that's what we're doing. The nurse recommended putting zero form on it, which is basically petroleum soaked gauze, and then the gauze pad. And this has been helping tremendously. The reason I say it's been helping tremendously is because previously the rash didn't seem like it was getting any better. Even though we had it covered with a gauze pad every day, it has increased in its, I don't know, healing productivity tremendously over the past couple of weeks. We've been covering it with the zero form first, and it's almost actually it's almost completely gone, the little hole opening. That's what you could tell in that last picture. So Jim is putting on clobetasol 0.5%, or 0.05%. I feel like I want to say 0.05%. But what we do is there's 8 ounces of clobetasol mixed into a 1-pound jar of Eucerin cream. Eucerin cream is so thick, but it's dermatologist recommended, and that's one of the 2 recommendations from my doctor. She said either Eucerin cream or Cetaphil, and Eucerin cream was the winner because that's what they sold at the Walmart. So now as Jimmy's covering, we have 2 bandages on the right and 2 bandages on the left. Now, it seems like a little overkill, but what we've come to realize, and this might be helpful to people who have wound care, is that having more bandages on places that move around a lot than less, because when one bandage will cover this area, however, if I move slightly, then it'll be exposed. And when I realize it's exposed straight to my fabric is when it tears open, gets raw, gets stuck to my clothes, and that sort of thing. So we've come to realize that, this is what we have to do. Originally, doctor prescribed for this to be done twice a day, but now she's reduced it just to 1 time a day. She knows it's very difficult to get it done, especially when Jimmy was working. It was almost nearly impossible. He's putting 1 piece of tape on that area under my arm and 1 piece of tape across the top of each pad. And then what we do is we take a rolled gauze or cling, like a rolled cling, and we're going to make that halter. So I'm going to show you how we do it. Basically, he starts it on a pad so he doesn't have to stick the tape to my skin. And then he rolls it, he gives it to me, and I roll it over under my arm, and then on that previous gauze that's under my arm. Then we go under the right arm, and then he goes across the back, and then under the underarm this opposite way, and then under that underarm the opposite way. And what that does is, as you can tell, it creates a really nice coverage of the bandages, and it helps the bandages stay in place a lot better than without it. Is it 100%? No, but it is definitely better than having nothing. There's been many times where the rolled gauze is the only thing keeping the bandages on because the tape is given away and stuff. So then to save tape, we've come up this thing that we will tape after we've rolled it. So we don't have to tape underneath where it's rolled because that would just be like overkill and we're wasting a lot of tape. And tape is money, and even though it comes from hospice care, they don't have an endless supply of supplies. So that's funny, endless supply of supplies. So he just puts tape every once in a while. So we do like 2 days of doing on the straight sides, and then we'll do a day of just doing the 4 corners on a diagonal. And I do that because of my tape sensitivity. Even the paper tape I can get really sensitive to. I can have reactions to if they're like the tape residue has been taped on the same place every single day. Okay? So now I'm just rolling over, trying to be discreet. Because what we do now is we take a body wipe to wash off any old medicine or any day's dirt, basically. And we put Eucerin cream. It's called Eucerin Repair Cream. And I'll mention it in the end, but when I went to go look up scar medicine, this was the second to Moderna. Basically, Moderna is like the expensive scar, reducing cream. This was the second choice that came, so it's Eucerin Repair Cream. It's a lot more like, it's expensive, but it's a lot more. So I have the scars on both of my chests. I know you guys have seen them before. On the back of my arm, where you saw when he was doing my back, there's a rash on the back of my arm. And in both inner thighs, basically and then one on the outside thigh. So basically wherever like my skin would rub together is pretty much what it is. And the wounds on my chest and my back are most likely from my brace rubbing against my spots and irritating them. So this I'm showing you. It's the Eucerin Repair Cream. It's got a light blue stripe on it. And this isn't medicated, so he's just using his hands. He's my husband. He's allowed to put lotion on me. And I can do most of this by myself. I'm not really supposed to do my inner thighs unless I lay on my back and put my legs up in the air. That's the only way I'm allowed to do that myself. But even then, I have to make sure I can get my legs all the way up so I don't have to stretch. I'm not allowed to really stretch or bend my spine. So that's the only thing. But my chest and back of my arm, I usually do pretty much by myself. But for today's demonstrative purposes, we're having Jim do it all. So, okay? Because otherwise, I have to take my sheet all the way off, and nobody wants that. So the next thing we do after all of that is we get a nightgown. And usually I like to wear a nightgown that has like t-shirt type sleeves, but I don't have any more clean. So tonight is a nightgown with a tank top, and then I'll wear a t-shirt over it to avoid the gauzes from coming off. So you'll see when I put this on that when I roll over, this is much easier to do when you're not filming it, by the way, because I usually don't have to cover myself with the sheet. But you can see there over the corners of my arms where it is that the potential for the gauze pads to come out. So that's why we wear a t-shirt as well. Jim's throwing out the old nightgown. And now we're going to do the leg wounds. Now, as far as the leg wounds are concerned, like I mentioned previously, there is no more. I do have one on my hip. That's what this is all about. There is no more bleeding. I had 3 surgical scars that opened up into 4 separate wounds from the chemotherapy. Basically ate away all the new tissue that was created or that grew after the surgery. All those scars, those beautiful scars, they're gone. What they are replaced with is these kind of not quite as beautiful scars. Basically, wherever there was a nice, beautiful scar, it is gone. And it was replaced with a divot, basically. It was opened up and it was basically eaten away. There's no other way to describe it other than eaten away. But they have slowly been healing and the wounds sealing up and closing, and now they're just these purple scars. The bottom one is the closest. The bottom one still has some scabbing on it. It was the last one to close up, and it is the last one to bleed, and that hasn't bled in a few days, so we're going to go ahead and just keep it uncovered. I've been keeping it uncovered for the last 3 or 4 nights. So what Jim's doing is putting that scar reducing cream on there, letting it sit in, and then rubbing it all in, and then we're all done. Okay? Hopefully that wasn't too bad. So, hopefully that I didn't show too much, and hopefully if I did, I edited it out, because I apologize. My eyes aren't what they used to be, and I know that I kind of flashed a little booty crack in the shower video, and I didn't mean to, so I apologize. But I really wanted to show you guys what the wound care has come down to. Now, what's different is we never really were able to share with you when the leg wounds were all going, because I really have to be completely undressed for that. When I had the leg wounds fully going, and then the rash on the inside was also getting the treatment, I had to have throw my leg up on the rollator so he can wrap it and go. It was just there was no way to do that effectively. So because we're down to like just doing the medication on minimal areas, I figured I could kind of show you like what it is. He used to do 4 wound dressings on each one of my legs. Each one got a 0 form and each one got a gauze pad. Now, none of them are covered. The bottom one was the last one to bleed, and it stopped bleeding 3-4 days ago. Well, Thursday. Thursday when I took my shower was the last time it bled. And today's Monday. It's Memorial Day. So, I no longer have that covered anymore either. Not even at night. So we just basically keep them uncovered all day. Keep the scar medication. I wanted to show you guys. Oh, I don't think you put it back. It's okay though. I was thinking you might have put it back here, but basically it's Eucerin repair cream. And when I looked up like scars, I saw that Moderna cream is like the one that everybody wants to use. However, it's very expensive for a small amount. I found this jar was like the second choice. Sorry about that. I did this. I found this was like the second best alternative, and it's so much more cream. And because I have so much scarring, and I'll have even more scarring to come, but the scars are fading so amazingly. The doctor actually said it will take like a really long time for the scars to disappear. But I was like, let me try this. I'm old. I can use lotion anyway. If it doesn't do anything, it's at least lotion, right? But it is actually really helping with the scar fading. So, yay for that. So, that's it. I hope this was educational. I hope you got to learn something. I hope you appreciate the effort that Jim puts in every day, because Lord knows I do. I have done this myself once. It was not good because basically I missed a ton of area that gets lotion, and the gauze pads end up sticking to my back, and I wasn't able to wrap the halter, make the halter around, so then the gauze pads all fell off. So yeah, we won't be doing that again. But listen, give Jim a big thumbs up, because he's been an excellent caregiver. I know what I said the other day, I really needed to focus on the fact that he is an excellent caregiver. He just, I can still want more. That's the thing that was the theme the other day. I don't mean to sound greedy. You can be totally satisfied and still want extra. So, I guess that does make me sound greedy. I don't know. But anyway, listen, I love you guys. I do. And if nobody's told you today that you're loved, you can always come by and hear how much I love you. And listen, as always, you guys, take care. God bless. And we'll see you next time. Bye.